Well, what else is there? No Mills, like Paul McCartney after he got divorced. That's that one you're gonna need to. You might need to check Wikipedia to understand. Note to self, lore masters. Paul McCartney married in the mid 2000s. He married a woman by the name of Heather Mills. Okay, and then they got divorced. This is what is referenced in the song "International Players Anthem" in Big Boy's verse. Any many decision with precision I choose or make my selection on who I choose to be with. Girl, don't touch my protection. I know you don't. You want it to slip, but slipping is something I don't do. Tipping for life. That's like making it rain every month on schedule. Let me tell you, get your parasol umbrella because it's going to get wetter. Better prepare you for the sea support. She's supposed to spend it on that baby, but we see she don't. Ask Paul McCartney. The lawyers couldn't stop me. Cut off his head, tie it to a rock or something. Sent him into outer space. I know he wish he could because he's paying $20K a day. That blank is eating good. Oh, there was a mill up here the whole time. Who has the best verse in International Players Anthem? We've been through this before. I think that overall, I'm not one of those guys. I would call them fools. I need to charge my active ability. There we go. I'm not one of those guys who thinks that Andre 3000 was like the only rapper worth anything in Outkast. Quite the opposite. I feel like if anything, Andre 3000 brought something to the group, but was also a little. By the way, I'm going to restart. I'm not suggesting that he's overrated and bad. I'm suggesting that he's one of the best ever, but ends up the way that Andre 3000 gets rated ends up making Big Boy seem like he's just the other guy in the group when he's also like at that level. But because he raps about things that appeal more to the id than the super ego, people, in my opinion, underrate him, okay? That's all I'm trying to say. That being said, on International Players Anthem, I don't think it's tough to deny that Andre 3000's verse is the highlight of the song. But all four of the verses are really good. I feel like I would probably go Andre 3000, then it would be Bun B, and I would put Big Boy third and Pimp C fourth. But at the same time, it's a tough choice. If you ask me tomorrow, they could change a little bit. That's the thing with Andre, though. He always stands out. Well, I don't know. I feel, listen, I feel like on a lot of Outkast songs, Big Boy has the better verse. It's tough, though, because you're on a lot of the best Outkast songs, you're comparing 2 10 out of 10 verses. I mean, they're not always, sometimes they got 3 verses each. But like in something like the Artist Storytelling Part 1, okay? I like Big Boy's verse, but at the same time, it's hard to argue with 3000's verse as well, which actually like tells a story that has like a beginning, a middle, and an end. And then Big Boy's story is easy to underrate it just because of the fact that Big Boy's story is about getting fellatio in his car in the mall parking lot. But that's life sometimes, man. Just because it's not on the same spiritual plane as what 3 Stacks is talking about, that doesn't make it any less deserving of merit. It's crazy that you don't think Miss Jackson's one of their best songs. I mean, I know I've said this exact same thing before. My personal opinion on the Outkast ride on Peloton is that Miss Jackson is the worst song on the Outkast ride. What's on the Outkast ride? ATLiens, Bombs Over Baghdad, Hey Ya, I Like the Way You Move. I understand it's not an Outkast John, but at the same time, it's included as part of their history. The one that is, you got to get up, get out, and get something. You can't spend your whole life trying to get high. I'm trying to think of what else is on there. Rosa Parks. I mean, Miss Jackson is just like, maybe part of it is because of the fact that I've heard Miss Jackson 300,000 times. But like, I think I've reached a point where I'm just like, I get it. You're for real. Never meant to make your daughter cry. He apologizes a million times. Like, what more do you want from him? I think it's kind of a mid-Outkast song. I'm into artist storytelling, ATLians, Rosa Parks sort of lad. I mean, if we're talking Stankonia, my favorite song on Stankonia is hard to argue with Bombs Over Baghdad, don't get me wrong. At number 2 for me has got to be So Fresh, So Clean, probably. All Outkast songs are mid? That's just insanity. That's an insane take. It's disrespectful, quite frankly.